there's a smell I still remember. Coffee, carpet cleaner, and that cold air drifting in from the jet bridge. And back then, an airport didn't feel like a checkpoint. It felt like a shared room where the world passed through. And if you were there, you know exactly what I mean. Press play. And the past doesn't feel far away. If you're Gen X, you grew up in the in-between era, old enough to remember the analog world, young enough to watch everything go digital in real time. And airports might be the clearest place where that shift shows up. In this video, I want to do 3 things. Bring you back to what the airport felt like. Name what changed without turning it into a rant. And talk about what we can still keep right now. When I was a kid, the airport wasn't just transportation. It was an event. The doors opened, and suddenly you were in a place that felt bigger than your life. Everything had a sound. Everything had a rhythm. Escalators humming. Shoes tapping on glossy tile. That soft echo in the high ceiling that made every laugh travel farther than it should. And underneath it all, steady and distant, the breath of airplanes beyond the glass. People move differently too. Not like a crowd trying to survive a deadline. More like a room full of small stories happening at once. Business travelers with tired eyes and worn briefcases. Vacation families carrying pillows like trophies. Kids half asleep in bright sweaters. Grandparents holding little gifts that only made sense to one person. And the detail that still feels unreal now. You could walk your people to the gate. Not to a boundary. Not to a final line where you had to stop. To the gate, you could sit with them while they waited. Talk through the nerves. Share something small. A coffee, a snack, a joke that didn't really land but made the silence easier. The airport gave you permission to be gentle in public. A hand on a shoulder didn't look strange. A long goodbye didn't feel dramatic. It just felt human. And then there were arrivals. The part that felt like a movie scene without anyone trying to make it one. You'd wait near the doorway where passengers came out. You'd scan faces. You'd hear rolling luggage before you saw the person. And then, there they were. Sometimes it was quiet. A hug that lasted a second longer than it needed to. Sometimes it was loud. Kids running full speed like gravity didn't apply to them. And people held signs. Not ironic signs. Not clever ones. Real ones, handmade, a little crooked, marker ink bleeding through the cardboard. Even if you couldn't read them from far away, you knew what they meant. In those moments, strangers witnessed love. And it didn't feel embarrassing. It felt normal. And then September 2001 happened, and airports changed in a way that wasn't just about rules. Policies shifted, yes. Procedures shifted, yes. But the emotional temperature changed too. Airports stopped feeling like open rooms. They started feeling like controlled spaces. Even on calm days, there's a low-level tension now. Not fear, exactly. More like friction. People aren't just traveling. They're managing. And for Gen X, that was one of the quiet lessons we learned. The world can change overnight. And you still have to keep going in the morning. There are 3 contrasts I notice every time I fly now. First, access. Back then, the goodbye could stretch gently right up to the gate. Now it's often at the curb shorter, sharper, like the moment gets cut off before it can settle. Second, time. The old airport had breathing room. Now it can feel like a timed obstacle course. Lines, screens, reminders, the constant sense you should be moving. Third, mood. The older airport carried anticipation possibility, something like wonder. The modern airport often carries vigilance. A quiet pressure that sits in your shoulders, even when nothing is wrong. This isn't me complaining. It's me naming the difference. Because we didn't realize how much the softer version mattered until we stopped living inside it. Here's what I want to leave you with. We can't bring the old world back. But we can bring back some of the old warmth. If you travel now, try moving through the airport like a human again. Not like a machine trying to beat the clock. Do one small thing that says, "I'm here." Turn your phone face down for a minute and look around. Let someone merge. Hold the door. Offer your place in line if you can. If you're the one leaving, say one real sentence before you go. If you're the one staying, don't rush the goodbye just because the world is rushing you. And if you're picking someone up, be early anyway. Not because the system demands it, but because love does. Because what people remember isn't the policy, it's the presence. If airports sometimes make you feel strangely emotional, like you're remembering something you can't fully name, you're not imagining it. You're remembering what it felt like when the world still had room to breathe. And maybe that's the quiet Gen X skill. Holding two truths at once. Accepting change. And still keeping tenderness alive. If you remember that old airport feeling, tell me one detail you miss. Drop your birth year and your memory in the comments. Subscribe to Gen X Reflections for more time capsule stories. Next time, we'll talk about the day the news stopped being information and started being a habit. Until then, press play and take it slow. If this video hit you right in the memories, then the next one I am recommending below will probably have you nodding along too. Click it right now to watch.